everyone, and welcome back. Today we're going to be taking a deep dive into the world of online store platforms.
Ooh, exciting.
You know, the foundation of your e-commerce empire.
Right.
With global online sales projected to hit a mind-blowing $7.5 trillion in 2025.
Wow.
Getting this right could be the difference between just, existing online or absolutely crushing it.
You hit the nail on the head. Choosing the right platform can really make or break your revenue.
Yeah.
Businesses that are, thriving online are often seeing a 30 to 40% higher revenue growth than those who are, maybe struggling with outdated solutions.
Okay, so that's like adding rocket fuel to your business.
Yeah, exactly.
But with all the platforms out there, how do we even begin to choose?
Well, that's why we have this awesome article called 7 Best Online Store Platforms for Small Businesses in 2025 to help us out.
Ooh, okay.
And don't worry, we're not just going to, list out features.
Right.
We're going to break down what each platform excels at and how those strengths can translate into wins for your business.
Okay, so less about tech specs, more about what it actually means for someone who's building a business.
Exactly.
Love that. But before we get into the platforms themselves, I think it's important to take a step back and really understand why having an online store is even important in the first place.
Yeah.
I mean, some people might be thinking, hey, I'm doing fine with my brick and mortar store. Why bother?
That's a great question, and I think the article actually had a really interesting stat.
Okay.
It said online stores can process up to 25 sales in the time it takes a physical store to do one.
Wow.
So just think about that for a second. You could be reaching 25 times more customers in the same amount of time.
Okay, now I'm really paying attention 25 times.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people might also be worried about competing with the giant online retailers.
Right.
The ones that everyone already knows.
Yeah, the ones with huge brand recognition and tons of resources. But that's where choosing the right platform comes in. It's your secret weapon to leveling the playing field.
Okay, so not only are we talking about reaching more customers, but we're also talking about doing it efficiently and being able to hold our own against the big guys.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm officially on board. Let's talk platforms.
All right, so the article highlights 7 major players, each with their own unique strengths. Webnexs, 𝐊𝐼𝐴RT, Shopify, BigCommerce, Squarespace, Wix, and Weebly.
All right, so we've got 7 contenders vying for the e-commerce crown.
Yeah.
Can you give us a sneak peek at what makes each of them stand out?
Absolutely. So first up, we have Webnexs.
Okay.
They're all about customizability and scalability.
Okay.
They kind of want to be like the one-stop shop for all of your e-commerce needs, no matter how big your business grows.
Got it.
And get this, they say they can get you up and running in less than a week.
Less than a week? That's insanely fast.
It is.
Okay, Webnexs, you have my attention. What about 𝐊𝐼𝐴RT?
𝐊𝐼𝐴RT takes a different approach. They prioritize simplicity and ease of use. So they're really great for beginners or, anyone who wants to launch their store really quickly. We're talking like 1 to 2 days.
Wow, that's even faster than Webnexs.
Yeah.
I'm sensing a theme here. Speed is key in the e-commerce world.
Absolutely. Time is money, especially when you're eager to start selling.
Right. Of course, speed isn't everything.
No, you're right. It's not the only factor.
We need to look at the whole package. So let's move on to the heavyweight champ of e-commerce platforms, the one that everyone's probably heard of, Shopify.
Yeah, Shopify.
What makes them so popular?
So Shopify is known for its, robust features and, importantly, its scalability.
Okay.
So they can really handle huge amounts of growth, making them a favorite for those businesses that have really big ambitions. And their app ecosystem is really impressive. It's like having an app store, but specifically for your online store.
Ooh.
With tools for everything from marketing automation to inventory management.
App ecosystem sounds a little techy.
It does sound a little techy, but it's really not that complicated. Yeah. So think of it this way, let's say you need help with SEO.
Okay.
To get your store ranking higher on Google search results.
Right.
Boom, Shopify has an app for that.
Okay.
Or let's say you want to send automated welcome emails to your new customers. Shopify has an app for that too. It's all about making your life easier and your business more efficient.
Okay. So Shopify is all about powerful features and customization through apps.
Yeah, you got it.
What about BigCommerce? BigCommerce, the name kind of makes me think of, big businesses, am I right?
BigCommerce is definitely geared towards established companies and those who are expecting high sales volume.
Okay.
They offer advanced features for things like multi-channel selling, which basically means you can manage sales from your own website, Amazon social media, all in one place.
Wow.
Pretty powerful stuff.
Multi-channel selling that sounds intense but also incredibly efficient.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got webnexs for customizability, 𝐊𝐜𝐴RT for simplicity, Shopify for scalability, and apps, BigCommerce for high volume. Who's up next?
Next, we have Squarespace, the platform where design reigns supreme.
Ooh.
So if aesthetics are a top priority for your brand, Squarespace is definitely a strong contender.
Okay.
Their templates are known for being very elegant and visually appealing.
I've actually heard of Squarespace. I always thought they were just for like photographers or artists, people with super visual brands.
You're not wrong. Squarespace definitely attracts businesses where visual storytelling is key.
Right.
But they've expanded their offerings to cater to a wider range of e-commerce needs.
Got it.
I think the key takeaway here is that they understand the power of a beautiful online storefront.
Yeah, a website that looks amazing is going to draw people in, right? Like if you walked by two stores, one with a messy, cluttered window display and one that was beautifully curated, which one would you be more likely to enter?
Exactly. And with Squarespace, you don't have to be a design whiz to create a stunning website. They make it easy even for beginners.
Okay, Squarespace. I'm impressed. Who else is on our list?
All right, we have two more, Wix and Weebly. Wix is all about flexibility and customization.
Okay.
So they give you a ton of control over the look and feel of your store. Think of it like building with Legos.
Oh,
You have
yeah.
all these different elements that you can combine to create something truly unique.
I like that analogy. So Wix is for the people who really want to get creative and build something that really reflects their brand's personality.
Precisely. And finally, we have Weebly, the champion of affordability.
Okay.
If budget is a major concern, Weebly is a great option. They offer competitive pricing without sacrificing essential features.
Okay, so Weebly sounds like a great choice for entrepreneurs who are just starting out and maybe don't have a ton of cash to invest in a platform.
Absolutely. They make e-commerce accessible to everyone, which is fantastic.
Okay, so we've met our 7 contenders, but how do I actually choose? What are the key factors to consider when making this decision?
That's a great question. Let's
Yeah.
dive into that first and foremost. You need to think about ease of use.
Okay.
You don't want to be spending hours, wrestling with a complicated platform.
Right.
The article actually points out that 77% of small business owners prioritize ease of use when selecting a platform.
Okay, that makes sense. I guess I'm picturing myself, late at night trying to upload a new product or figure out how to process an order and just getting frustrated because the platform is clunky and confusing.
Exactly. The smoother the experience, the more time and energy you can focus on actually growing your business.
Right.
And that brings us to another crucial factor. Scalability. Your chosen platform needs to be able to grow with your business.
So what you're saying is don't choose a platform that's like a tiny shoe that you'll soon outgrow.
You got it migrating your entire store to a new platform down the line because you've outgrown your current one. One can be a very costly and time-consuming headache.
Right. We want to avoid headaches at all costs. So ease of use and scalability. What else should we be thinking about?
Security is paramount. Your customers need to feel confident that their information is safe when they're shopping with you.
Right.
Choosing a platform with robust security features is non-negotiable.
Absolutely. I mean, think about it from the customer's perspective. Would you hand over your credit card details to a website that looked sketchy or didn't feel secure?
Probably not. And not only that, but a security breach can be absolutely devastating to your business, both financially and in terms of your reputation.
Okay, I'm getting chills just thinking about that. So security is a must-have, not a nice-to-have. I didn't want... What about cost? I know that's always a big consideration, especially for small businesses.
You're right. Cost is a huge factor. And I know it can be tempting to just go with the cheapest option. But here's the thing. Choosing a platform solely based on price can actually backfire in the long run.
Okay, I've definitely been guilty of that in the past. You get what you pay for, right?
Sometimes, yes. But it's more nuanced than that. Think of it this way. A cheaper platform might lack crucial features that you'll need as your business grows.
Okay.
Or it might be more difficult to use, costing you time and efficiency. It's about finding that right balance between affordability and getting the features and support that you need to succeed.
So don't just focus on the initial price tag. Think about the long-term value and what you're actually getting for your money. Okay? I'm starting to see how all these factors kind of work together.
Exactly. And speaking of things working together, we also need to talk about integrations.
Integrations, what do you mean by that?
So think about all the different tools that you might use to run your business,
Okay.
like your email marketing software, your shipping provider, your accounting system, your online store, platform needs to be able to seamlessly integrate with those tools
Right.
to create a smooth and efficient workflow.
Okay, I'm starting to see the bigger picture here. We're not just choosing a website, we're choosing the central hub for our entire online business.
Exactly. It's like building a house.
Yep.
You need a strong foundation and a solid framework to support everything else.
So we've got ease of use, scalability, security, cost, and integrations. Anything else we need to keep in mind?
One last crucial factor. User experience. Your website is essentially your digital storefront.
Right.
It needs to be visually appealing,
Yeah.
easy to navigate, and create a positive experience for your customers.
Right, because a frustrating website equals lost customers.
You got to think about it. Have you ever been so annoyed by a website that you just gave up and went somewhere else?
Oh, absolutely. Especially if I'm trying to buy something and the checkout process is a nightmare.
Exactly. A smooth and enjoyable user experience is essential for keeping people engaged, encouraging them to browse your products and ultimately make a purchase.
Okay, this is a lot to consider. Ease of use, scalability, security, cost integrations, user experience. How do we even begin to weigh all of these factors?
Well, that's where things get personal. There's no one-size-fits-all answer. The best platform for you depends on your specific needs, your budget, and your long-term goals.
So it's less about finding the perfect platform and more about finding the right fit for your individual business.
Exactly.
But how do we even know what we need? I mean, what if we're just starting out and not even sure what our long-term goals are yet?
Well, that's where a little bit of self-reflection comes in.
Oh.
Ask yourself, what are my must-haves? What am I willing to compromise on?
Right.
Maybe ease of use is non-negotiable for you because you don't have a tech background.
Mm-hmm.
Or perhaps scalability is paramount because you have these huge growth plans.
Right.
It's all about identifying your priorities.
So before we even look at platforms, we need to look inward and figure out what we need and want.
Exactly.
Kind of like dating, right? You have to know what you're looking for before you start swiping.
Exactly. And just like dating, sometimes you have to kiss a few frogs before you find your prince.
Uh-huh.
You might try out a few different platforms before you find the one that feels like the perfect fit.
Okay, I love that analogy. So self-awareness is key.
Yes.
We need to know ourselves, our business goals, and what we're really looking for in an e-commerce partner. But I think some people might still feel overwhelmed. What if you're brand new to all of this and the thought of building an online store feels completely daunting?
I totally get it. It can definitely feel overwhelming. But remember, every successful online business started somewhere, right? Most of them started small with a simple website and a dream. The beauty of these platforms is that they make it easier than ever to get started.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to jump in and experiment.
So done is better than perfect. I think that's something that a lot of people struggle with, you know?
Yeah,
The fear of messing up, of not doing it right, can be paralyzing.
absolutely. But the truth is you'll learn so much more by doing than by overthinking.
Right.
The key is to start small, focus on the essentials, and gradually build from there.
So embrace the learning process. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. And most importantly, just get started.
Exactly. And remember, you don't have to do this alone.
Okay.
There are tons of resources available to help you along the way. There are blogs, forums, YouTube tutorials, and even dedicated support teams from the platforms themselves.
Oh, okay, that's reassuring. It's like having a whole team of cheerleaders rooting for your success.
Yeah, exactly.
So we've covered a lot of ground today. We talked about the incredible potential of e-commerce, explored 7 leading platforms, and discussed the key factors to consider when choosing the right one for your business.
Right.
But I think the most important takeaway is that this decision is deeply personal.
I agree. There's no magic formula, no one-size-fits-all solution.
Yeah.
The best platform for you is the one that aligns with your unique needs, your goals, and your vision.
And that's what makes this so exciting.
Yeah.
You're not just choosing a website, you're building a digital storefront that reflects your brand's personality and helps you achieve your entrepreneurial dream.
Absolutely. It's about creating something you're proud of, something that connects with your audience and helps you build a thriving business.
So as you embark on this journey, remember the advice we've shared today. Think about ease of use, scalability, security, cost integrations, and user experience. But most importantly, listen to your intuition, what feels right for you.
Trust your gut and don't be afraid to experiment. You might be surprised at what you discover along the way.
And if you get stuck, remember those resources that we mentioned.
Yes.
There's a whole community of e-commerce entrepreneurs out there ready to support you.
We're all in this together.
Now, before we wrap up, I want to leave you with a final thought. The article we discussed today focused on the technical aspects of choosing a platform.
Right.
But there's another, perhaps even more important factor to consider, Your passion.
Ah, yes, the fuel that drives us all.
Exactly. What are you truly passionate about? What problem are you solving? What impact do you want to make on the world?
Because when you're passionate about what you do,
Mm.
it shines through in everything you create, and that passion is contagious.
Yeah.
It draws people in, inspires them, and makes them want to be a part of your journey.
So as you weigh your options and make this important decision, remember to choose a platform that not only supports your business goals, but also fuels your passion.
Because when you combine the power of technology with a fire of passion,
Mm.
that's when the magic truly happens.
And that's a wrap on this deep dive into the world of e-commerce platforms. We hope you feel inspired, informed, and ready to build something amazing. Until next time, happy selling.